In today's sewing tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a welt pocket. Cute fabric on the inside. This is my practice piece. Okay, let's get started on this pocket. These are the patterns I have, and I will upload them to my DA so you guys have something to practice with or use this if you would like. You're also going to need some cute fabric, something that's on the inside of the pocket. Something like this. It doesn't have to be cute. I mean, you can do it however you like, but I think cute looks awesome. And then something you're going to put the pocket onto. A t-shirt, a pair of pants, whatever. I'm going to be sewing it onto an apron. Okay, I have some fabric and my patterns cut out right here. On my patterns, I have this line down the middle. That shows the length grain. And remember, the length grain is always parallel to the selvage, which is the edge of the roll. And I'm just kind of securing it with some pins. I know that these patterns have the seam allowance included in the pattern, so I don't need to leave much in between. I can squint them really close together. If you don't know, I would go ahead and leave room because that's always safer. You can always cut fabric off. You can never add it back on. This pattern is for my interfacing. It says it right here. These say all to cut in self, which is the pattern fabric. So I have some interfacing here. It's just to make the pocket a little more stable. The interfacing I'm just going to cut right out. It's very flimsy and easy to cut. Then onto my main pattern pieces. I'm going to be tracing it out either with a chalk pencil or a water-soluble pencil. Line around the whole pattern. And where you made these little notches, either you punch them out with the notcher or you just cut a little triangle. Make a little line, because that's going to show you how to line up your patterns later. Once I'm finished with that, I carefully lift up my pattern just to make sure that I didn't forget any edges. Okay, everything looks good. Go ahead and cut them out. Now we're ready to go. All of our pieces are cut out. And make sure you keep everything organized. All patterns will be labeled. This is the top. So I know the bigger one's the top and the smaller one's the back. And if you can see right here, I don't cut my notches. I don't feel like it's really that necessary as long as I can see them and I know they're there. So we have our pocket pieces all ready. Now bring out whatever you're adding this pocket to. I'm adding mine to an apron and I have it already fitted out right here with a pin to know where I'm going to put it. This is my pocket template for the back. So these are the points where the pocket's going to be. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this over where I have my pin. Make sure that it's straight so this line is vertical or else your pocket's going to be crooked. Okay, once I have it pinned in place, I'm just going to take my chalk or my water pencil and mark in the holes. Go back over them. I'm actually going to connect my dots with 3 lines. Now I'm going to be ironing this interfacing on the other side of the apron. Just going to hold with my finger where these marks are and put a mark on the back so I know where to line up the interfacing. It's got 2 sides. This side's very soft. This side, it's kind of shiny. Can you see it? No, not really in this light, but it's rougher. It's kind of sticky. This is the side with the glue. Then I take a spray bottle and just dampen it. And it has to be really wet to activate the glue, but not sopping wet. I'm just going to kind of lay this over the 2 marks, centering it quite nicely. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is just to strengthen the back so the pocket doesn't rip out. And I'm pretty much just going to iron it on. And that's all it takes. It's already applied. It's perfect. It's going to stay there. I'm going to be starting with the back of the pocket, so it's the smaller one. I took the little fold piece and ironed it in half, and we're going to lay this on top of the back of the pocket. And we're going to go ahead and sew these 2 together with a 1/4 inch of a seam allowance. I'm going to take the middle point of the pocket, line it up to the middle point I have marked, and you want this thread where you sewed to be on this line. I'm pinning, remember that this is the right side of the fabric. This is what's going to show the part of your costume or your uniform, the front of my apron. And I'm sewing the pocket bottom on reverse, so the right sides are together. Okay, now what I'm going to do is sew this down make sure you stop and start exactly this length. Now that this is sewed on, we're going to do the exact same thing to the top. Actually, where you made those notches, that's the 4th inch mark on your pattern. So if you want, go ahead and draw a line across the fabric. So that way you can exactly see this line and where it needs to be on the other. And now, sew the top one down, point to point exactly. Now turning it over, I'm going to refocus on these marks. I'm going to connect the points into a triangle. So the middle one to the leg, and the middle one to the other leg, and you want it hitting the very last stitch, the very, very edge of the dot. Now I'm just going to take my small scissors, big scissors would work too, I find I have more precision with my smaller ones. And as I'm cutting, I'm using these 2 fingers on the back to open up these edges. So now that you cut it open and your triangle's cut, go ahead and flip your pocket right side out. Stuff them all the way through, extra edges and everything. Woo! And these little triangles that you cut, go ahead and push them all the way back. Now right now I go ahead and take the time and iron this down so it all lays flat. So the next step is to gently just peel back, and then you're going to take this little flap that you cut and you're going to sew it down. Small stitch from this edge of the triangle down to this edge of the triangle. Okay, so after you have both these edges sewed down, so just start way up here at the top, any side you would like, and we're going to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance around the whole thing. Finito! Your pocket is complete. It's all ready to go. It's got cute teacups on the inside, and oh, it's going to work so nicely.